But we are 1 week away. Oh, can you smell it? The National Football League kickoff. You got Tom Brady and Tampa Bay Buccaneers on one side, Dallas Cowboys on the other side. And just look at those numbers with Tom Brady. 7 Super Bowls, 3 regular season MVPs. First player to win Super Bowl MVP with 2 different teams among all those numbers. And he is not done yet because all he does is win, 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 win. Guys, he's probably going to be playing football teams 80 years of age. They're just going to wheel him out there in a wheelchair, be throwing touchdown passes when it's all said and done. So, Marcus, I'm going to start with you. Would a Brady repeat be the most compelling Super Bowl storyline?
Absolutely. It's not even close. We're talking about 8 at this point, Freddie. 8. Think about that. 8. 8 total Super Bowls. I think the highest franchise is 6, 7, maybe 6, 7, whatever it is, 6. Like, bro, what we in, see, this is what happens because I played for Nick Saban at LSU, and obviously I firmly believe he's the best college football coach ever to do it. But this is what happens, like especially in this generation we in now with news cycle and all of that, we get tired and we forget what we watching, and we can't forget what we watching with Tom Brady when it comes to football. And what he's accomplishing. I'm not even talking about the age, bro. If Tom Brady would have only won 5, that's phenomenal. We talking about this dude potentially going win his 8th Super Bowl. 8. I want everybody to 8 Super Bowl. You know how hard it is to make the playoffs? Just to make the playoffs, you know how difficult it is. But 8, and then we get into the legacy conversation. Let me ask you this. And I'm going to pass it to Sacho because I know y'all allotted me more time, but I know his argument is about to be dribble, and I don't care about it. But here's the deal.
Okay.
If Michael Jordan was playing in the NBA and he was going for his 7th ring, and let's say the Detroit Pistons hadn't won in a long time, and now they going for their championship, who will we cover more, Freddie?
Michael Jordan.
Okay. Go ahead, Sacho.
Swagoo, phenomenal. You answered the question of who would we cover more, but that wasn't the question. The question is, what's a bigger storyline? What's more compelling? What's a bigger storyline? And for me, it's not Tom Brady winning another one. It's a team that's never won one before, not even never won one, never even been there. It's been 12 teams in the NFL that have never won a Super Bowl. 4 teams that have never been to a Super Bowl. Houston, Jacksonville, Detroit have never been. And the 4th team that has never been, the Cleveland Browns. And if Cleveland, out of all those teams that have never even been, if Cleveland could go and win a Super Bowl, y'all remember, like, talk about NBA. Remember what when the Cavaliers won their first championship in 2016? How the world went crazy, Title Town. You remember that? Like, that was crazy. Y'all remember, like if Baker Mayfield, who we cover all the time, it was crazy, bro. Like the Cleveland Cavaliers, like people talk about the Cowboys have the best fan base. Like Cleveland might be one of the best fan base cities in the world, right? Cleveland might be America's team in so many ways. So if the Cleveland Browns, they put a trash bag over their head, the Cleveland Browns go and win a Super Bowl, you're telling me that's not the most compelling storyline in the NFL, the most compelling storyline in sport? When they made the playoffs last year, that was a compelling storyline. When they beat Pittsburgh, that was a compelling storyline. And they're literally set up to do it. Out of all the teams that haven't done it, out of all the teams that haven't even been there, they're set up to do it from an offensive standpoint with Jarvis Landry, with Odell, with Baker. From a defensive standpoint, they got with Clowney, they got Newsome in the draft, right? Like from an offensive, and then from a head coach, like that's my thing. Like we all talk about players and players and players. I talk about culture. Like I care about coaching and I care about culture. You telling me that Kevin Stefanski, from a coaching standpoint, from a culture standpoint, doesn't have that team set up to go win a Super Bowl right now? Like I'm way more concerned about that story than Tom Brady winning another one. And yes, 8 is huge, right? Tom Brady having 7, phenomenal, unbelievable, amazing. But we've seen that story before. You know what a story we've never seen before?
I'm with you. I'm with you. I'm ready to move on from Tom Brady too, but Tom Brady won't allow us to. He will stay the most compelling guy because he's not letting us do it. Like Max had him falling off a cliff 4 years ago. Brady ain't fell off a cliff. All right. We said he was too old. He can't do it. He's still doing it. We said it was the system in New England. Had a lot to do with the championships. Then he went to Tampa and won. And now he going for 8. And remember this too. stadiums going to have people in them this year. And it's going to be a totally different dynamic to football in general. That's why I'm so damn excited. I can't wait to start, bro. I cannot wait for next Thursday. It's so exciting. But when you think about, see you suffering from what a lot of people suffer from. You suffering from how fast we want to move on to the next story. But the story that matters is a quarterback 44 going for his 8th Super Bowl with a real shot at getting it. And I'm going to repeat, bro, 44 years old, going for his 8th Super Bowl. And you telling me, listen, I got the Browns as a dark horse Super Bowl contender. We don't have to have a discussion. You and I are in an agreement. The Cleveland Browns, I believe, are going to be really good this year, and I think they're going to win their division. I got them picked to win it, even though the Ravens and the Steelers going to have something to say about it. But the bottom line is this, Acho. And listen, man, when you go home, after this show at noon over, and you walking out of that studio, I want you to think about one thing. I want you to think about one thing about this discussion we having right now. If Cleveland wins a Super Bowl, the city of Cleveland and football community will be ecstatic. But in a few weeks, we'll move along. There will be a damn documentary and a movie in place, if it's not already one, if Tom Brady win 8, bro, in Tampa, with everybody there to watch and witness this potential accomplishment that he's going for. I get it, bro. I understand it. I don't want him to win the 8th because I always want Dallas to win the Super Bowl. But the bottom line is this. When we talk about the word compelling, and when we talk about the best Super Bowl story, people will agree because they Cleveland fans. And people will agree with you because Cleveland been starving for a long time for a good football team. There will be no bigger story than a 44-year-old quarterback winning his 8th Super Bowl. I promise you that, big dog.
Thanks for watching ESPN on YouTube. For live streaming sports and premium content, subscribe to ESPN+.